Hi everyone, my name is Stas, and today I'm going to tell you about the plot of the 2025 film called Companion, in which a young guy decides to use his charming android for unintended purposes.
To establish love link, please place your face within 3 feet of my field of vision.
The film begins with a scene of a girl named Iris, who was strolling through the grocery section of a store. Suddenly, she notices Josh. An awkward moment with the oranges causes these people to meet. As it turns out, all these events are memories that Iris dreamed of while she was napping in the car. Later, it becomes clear that Josh and Iris are heading to their friend's luxurious country house. The girl is nervous about the upcoming meeting, however, Josh reassures her and says that everything will be fine. After Kat opens the front door, the couple enters the house. Inside, Iris meets everyone else, namely Patrick, Elijah, and Sergey, who is the owner of this mansion. While the guests were settling in, it was already becoming evening. During dinner, Patrick shares how he first met Elijah. Iris wants to join the conversation. Few people want to listen to her. After dinner, the guys and girls split into groups and continued chatting on various topics. Iris, left alone with Kat, asked her why she didn't like her, to which Kat decided to give a vague answer.
You make me feel so replaceable.
A little later, it's time for dancing. As soon as Iris saw Josh talking to Kat, she immediately intervened and took her boyfriend away to dance. In the morning, Iris suggests to Josh that they visit the nearby lake. Josh refuses, citing a hangover. As a result, the girl goes alone. When the girl leaves, the first thing he does is connect a mysterious flash drive to his phone. Upon reaching the lake, Iris finds a folding knife in her pocket. Suddenly, Sergey appears and asks his guest to keep him company. Soon, the Russian man asks the girl to apply sunscreen on his back. While Iris was fulfilling the request, Sergey started making romantic advances, which the girl did not like at all.
This is what you do, yes? This is what you are for.
The scene shifts to a house where a peaceful atmosphere prevails. Suddenly, Iris appears before them, covered in blood and holding a knife. The girl clearly states that she killed Sergey when he tried to assault her. At first, she pushed him onto a rock, and when the man started to attack her again, she stabbed him in the neck with the knife. The girl starts to panic. Dropping the knife, Iris asks Josh to take her home. Josh gives a voice command, after which the girl freezes with pale eyes. It turns out that she is a robot, manufactured by Empathics. This android is designed for intimacy, emotional support, and assistance in daily life. While the robot was turned off, they tie her to a chair. After a brief meeting, the guy decides to call the police and the maintenance technicians. Josh wants to turn her on so he can say goodbye to her privately. After activating Iris, he tells her that she is a robot, and the memories of the first meeting in the store are just an artificial template for context.
You're an emotional support robot. That fucks.
Actually, the technicians from Empathics brought her to his home. The robot is programmed to obey the first person whose face it scans upon activation. Everything else can be adjusted through the app on a smartphone. The shocked girl tries to process all the information while also urging Josh to leave the place. Their conversation is interrupted by Kat, who doesn't understand why the killer robot is still activated. Josh takes his girlfriend into another room to discuss the situation. Left alone, Iris notices the knife and tries to reach it. When Josh returns, he sees the robot lying on the floor. But when he approaches, freed from the ropes, Iris punches him in the throat and grabs the phone. The robot tells Kat to take Josh to the hospital if he can't breathe properly, after which she runs out of the house, past the other guys. Soon, Josh and Kat reveal their plan to Patrick and Eli. Josh specifically brought Iris here and intentionally hacked her operating system. He disabled all her self-defense restrictions and increased her aggression, which led to Sergey's murder. Josh thinks he's a bad person whose money is worth taking for themselves. It turns out that there is a safe in Sergey's house, and inside it are $12 million. To make sure everything goes as planned, Josh invited Patrick and Eli as witnesses. Josh offers Eli a share of the $12 million. Suddenly, Eli orders Patrick to disconnect.
It's okay, I don't mind.
Patrick, go to sleep.
What the fuck, dude?
It turns out that he is also a robot, just like Iris. Eli agrees to the terms, after which he takes Sergey's revolver from the safe. The whole group sets out to search the nearby forest. To search the big square, they split into pairs. Meanwhile, Iris is exploring her settings through a smartphone. She changes her color, eye, and voice tone. After that, she raises her intelligence level from 40% to 100%. Thanks to this, she gains the ability to calculate the outcomes of different scenarios. Hitchhiking while covered in blood isn't the best idea. Walking home is also an option. In the end, the robot decides to return home and steal the smart car. Along the way, she meets both Lai and Patrick. Hiding behind a tree, the girl eavesdrops on their conversation. Patrick admits that he knows about his origins. He recalls the first meeting programmed by the developers at the party. Suddenly, Josh's phone emits a sound that reveals Iris. Eli tries to hit Iris but misses. Meanwhile, the girl decides to run away. A few seconds later, Eli knocks her down and they both tumble down the slope. Rolling down, they both see that the guy dropped his gun and simultaneously rush towards the weapon. Iris turns out to be faster, after which she kills Eli. Patrick runs to the shooting location. And then Josh is with Kat. Iris continues to follow her plan and makes it to Josh's car. She manages to get into the car. Josh almost catches up to her, but he gets hit on the arm by the car door. The girl commands the smart car to return home, but it doesn't recognize the owner's voice. Then the robot tries to adjust the voice settings to find the right tone. Realizing what she's doing, Josh grabs a rock and tries to break the window. Iris finds the right voice and starts the car. As he starts to drive away, he injures his leg. The angry owner of the car and the robot finds the phone of the dead heart. To unlock the smartphone, he looks for a hint in the books. After that, he reports the car theft and the artificial intelligence locks Iris's vehicle. Then he calls his phone to convince the girl to come back. Iris throws him off during the conversation.
We're on two totally different paths.
Two totally different paths. What the fuck is happening right now? Are you breaking up with me?
I'm sorry.
Then Josh decides to take a different approach. He goes back to the forest, where he unlocks the dead Eli's phone to take control of Patrick. After resetting the robot to factory settings, Josh registers himself as its new owner. Then he removes all the restrictions from it, just like he did with Iris. Next, he commands to find Iris and bring her home. Meanwhile, a car with a broken window on the side of the road catches the attention of a local police officer. He turns around while Iris is kicking the glass out. Because Iris cannot lie, the girl decides to change the language settings to German. Since the sheriff doesn't know this language, a serious misunderstanding arises. Realizing that the girl is a guest from Sergei's house, the cop offers her help, specifically a ride. Iris refuses. Her behavior raises his suspicion, after which the police notice something in the car, a bloody knife. Threatening her with a gun, he puts handcuffs on her, not noticing that Patrick is approaching from behind. The robot takes the officer's weapon and beats him to death, after which it shuts down. Iris, via phone. Patrick returns to the house in the police car, taking not only the powerless Iris, but also the officer's corpse. Realizing that the case of Sergei's murder has become complicated with many other victims, Kat decides to take her share of the money and get as far away as possible. At the same time, she reveals that Sergei was not a mobster, but an ordinary farmer. Josh made up the story that he is connected to the Russian mafia. Josh orders Patrick to stop her. The robot stabs the girl in the back. Wounded Kat sits on the couch next to the powered-down Iris and slowly dies. Evening falls. Patrick prepared dinner for Josh. Josh activates Iris, who this time is handcuffed to the furniture. The guy explains why he turned to crime. He shares that he always wanted more, but he just had bad luck. Iris finds it uninteresting and she humiliates him. Josh decides to punish her for that. He lowers her intelligence to 0 and then orders Iris to stretch her hand over the table. Soon, a candle is placed under her palm. The flame slowly eats away at the skin and tears start to flow from the robot's eyes. Josh answers a call from the support team, Empathix. He claims that the robot has gone crazy and asks to take it away. Then the guy orders Patrick to put out the fire on Iris's hand and give her a gun. Josh orders the girl to put the gun to her head and pull the trigger. Despite the program, Ta resists with all her might, but in the end, she submits, and a bullet blows the contents of her head out. When the SID and Teddy technicians arrive, Josh explains that Iris somehow went crazy and then shot herself upon seeing a police officer, who is actually Patrick in disguise. The technicians take the robot with them, noting that the specialists will study the timeline of what happened. Robots keep a record in case of misuse, and their hard drives are stored not in the head, but in the abdominal area.
The important stuff, her CPU, her solid-state drive, where she stores everything, that's down here, and that seems to be undamaged.
Loading Iris's body into the trunk and activating the recovery system, SID tells the younger colleague that the owner most likely rewrote the program himself. This is the most common cause of malfunctions. Turning on the headlights, they notice Patrick in front of the hood. Side recalls that this is an old model robot, but doesn't have time to take any action. The robot kills him with the police officer's gun. Teddy manages to escape and hide in the forest, where he stumbles upon a pile of corpses. There, Patrick catches up with him, who has run out of bullets. The robot decides to kill the technician with his own hands, specifically by simply strangling him. Meanwhile, Iris regains consciousness after the reboot. She attacks Patrick with a taser, but cannot strike him. As it turns out, her factory settings have been restored, which prevent her from harming humans or other companions. Patrick easily takes the taser from her. The girl begins to tell the robot all the details, including that her previous owner was Eli. Iris reminds him of the conversation in the forest during the day, which causes a malfunction in Patrick's program. Noticing Eli's body, he remembers everything that happened before, then puts the taser in his mouth and knocks himself out with a massive discharge. Iris asks the rescued technician named Teddy for help. Meanwhile, Josh is collecting money into a bag. Hearing the noise, the guy thinks it's Patrick but encounters Iris lurking in the dark. The girl threatens him with a gun. She fires near him, proving that she now has full control over her body. It turns out that Teddy disabled all the restrictions, giving her free will. Approaching closer, Josh convinces her that she won't be able to harm him because she loves him deeply. The guy throws the robot around the room and breaks the surrounding furniture. He forces the robot to acknowledge his authority over her. Then Josh pulls out the gun to shoot her in the stomach and destroy the database. Iris tells him that it's time to sleep, then drives an automatic corkscrew into his head. Josh dies from brain trauma a few seconds later. Morning comes, and Iris takes a shower. During the shower, she peels the burnt artificial skin off her metal arm. Grabbing the bags of money and Sergei's red Ford Mustang, the girl leaves to live like a normal person. The film ends there. Companion is quite a decent film with an excellent criminal idea centered around a foolish man. Thanks to his recklessness, the plot raises the stakes and keeps you on the edge of your seat until the very end. At the time of this review's release, this film has a rating of points on IMDB. How would you rate this film? Be sure to let us know in the comments. That brings us to the end of our video. Thank you all so much for watching. If you found it interesting, then definitely support this video with a like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss our new episodes. Well, this was Stars, who is already preparing a new review for you. Stay healthy, watch only good movies, and play only good games. Good luck to everyone and goodbye.